everybody. This is James Diboe, your host on Discovering on Big Condo Online. And today we've got a new guest in, Terence Smalls. How are you doing?
Good, how you doing?
Great. We're here anyway, discovering new things. And, it's good to have you on, Terence. I've known you for a while and that. And one of the stories that caught me is when I remember a while ago you joined the army.
Yeah, that's right.
And I was actually surprised that you'd actually joined the army because, you were...
I remember you had some reservations, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you were always a humorous person, so I was like, what are you doing in the army? But you got there anyway, and I want to deal with the timeline on the beginning of it, like what made you join. And then after that, you went AWOL. Then you was in a boot camp, jail.
That's right, yeah.
So long and that, so we're going to discuss this today. Yeah. So however you want to start it from the beginning.
Okay, so from the beginning, I joined up in 2001, went through training August, September, November.
Yep.
Or August, September, October. Phase 1 training up in Scotland.
Bring the mic closer. Yep.
I always remember it because it was when 9/11 happened, obviously, isn't it?
Yeah.
We was actually out in the field training when 9/11 happened. So went through training in Scotland, past that, done some more training in North Yorkshire, and then went into me regiment. And things went from there. It was good at the start. You meet new people and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, the main thing is though I need to get across is why I joined was it was more about just employment.
Okay.
No opportunities in the ghetto or whatever.
Right. Okay. And yeah,
it's not the best thing to do, but I ended up going that way when I was 17, 18. So yeah, that's why I joined.
So did you have to do some sort of... You have to do training first, don't you?
Yeah, 12 weeks, yeah.
12 weeks training. Yeah, like Portsmouth or somewhere out the way, was it?
I actually done my phase 1 training up in Pennycook. Which is Edinburgh.
Edinburgh?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a countryside up in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
So Midlothian, it's really green.
So is it like kind of like they test your fitness as well, is it?
Yeah, fitness.
Yeah.
Your health.
Your health.
Do medical and stuff. And all the usual stuff.
So now, did you completed your training? Is that right? Yeah. So what happens after that? Then you complete your training and then you go in to join the army now properly. Is that correct?
Yeah, once your training's finished, you have a small break and then they send you back to your battalion. But it was funny for me because where I finished training in North Yorkshire, Catterick, my battalion was based around the corner from there. So when I finished training, I could literally get my bags and walk around.
Okay.
The boys who come through training with me were being shipped off to places all around the world. It was crazy, and they were still making fun of me because I just got my bag and walk around the corner. So I've done training in North Yorkshire. Sorry, phase 2 and phase 1 Scotland, phase 2 North Yorkshire.
Okay. And
then when I joined the army and I moved into the King's Regiment, the battalion, the first battalion, the King's Regiment. I was based in North Yorkshire too.
Okay. So now you've joined now. What's it like now when you've joined? Like, also as well, like, so your reason for it's employment. Yeah. You're searching for employment and then, typical.
Trying to get away as well, I guess.
Typical. Now, didn't you worry about joining it on, you could get killed or, anything, wars going on and stuff? Didn't you even think twice, or was it just about, I need a job?
I don't think I had any concept of that at all. I was just like, I want to get out of the area. It's a steady job.
Yeah.
I can have a look around, see some things. Just some stupid kid idea, one of them.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But, okay, so now, when you've joined the army now, what point before you've gone AWOL was it? What point in time? How long was you in the army for?
So I'll have probably been in for about 2 years.
Oh, 2 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. And then...
How was them 2 years?
They were cool,
Were they good, yeah?
Yeah. Went around, seen some things, met some people. It was all good. Went to Germany, done parachute training. Yeah, it was cool. But the problem for me was with the army, if you're not married, then you don't get the same rights as a married person would.
Okay.
So my girlfriend my girlfriend was pregnant at the time with our second son. Okay. And it was clear that there was going to be some issues with him medically. So I applied for compassionate leave, which was rejected because I wasn't married. So to cut a long story short, I took it upon myself to go home. I was thinking, well, my girl needs me. My son needs me. And you're telling me I can't go because I haven't got a piece of paper saying that we love each other. So I ditched that and I just went home. Later on, they catch up with me, and I've been arrested for Awol, haven't I?
Right.
Arrest, you know.
Did you just catch you on the street or come to your house?
Yeah,
come to your home?
They actually come to my house. They waited for a holiday as well. They waited for Christmas. It's like they timed it on purpose so I couldn't have, you know, the holiday with my family. And they've come round and arrested me just before New Year, I think, actually. So, yeah, I did have Christmas with the family. It was New Year they took me.
Yeah.
Yeah, they come and got me on New Year's Eve or the day before.
Right, okay. So now, so you go to a boot camp type jail.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen that movie called First Time Felon, where you go to a boot camp jail.
Is that a military prison, isn't it? Oh, yeah, that's
Omar Epps.
Omar Epps, yeah.
Very good movie. Yeah. And when you said a boot camp to me, I'm picturing like a boot camp. You know, it's
to be fair, the prisoners weren't as rough as they were, but the guards probably were.
The guards.
They were mean, the guards.
With the military.
Yeah.
Yeah, ex-military.
And it wasn't like you get to have as much time as you want. You know, your day is your own. You're just relaxing in your own little cell.
Yeah.
They come and get you out and make you do the silliest things.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to go on a run today. We're going to go swimming. They just beast you. So it's you know, that's the one big difference between military prison and civilian prison. You get your cell and they batter you all day with horrible exercise and nothing and send you back to, you know.
Yeah.
So it's extra worse. It's you know.
Yeah. So when I watched that movie First Time Felon, and you know he was making them carry these big logs, two people jogging, Omar Epps and then the other guy, and then
we've done it, mate. It's called the log run,
Yeah, you done the log run?
Yeah, we've done it.
That looks really tough. That though,
ruthless.
It is. Yeah. So you must have come out quite.
Yeah, when I come out, I was super fit. Yeah.
Yeah, super fit in there.
I had the stamina anyway.
What?
I mean, I was never massive muscle built, never been, but I used to be quite fit because obviously they take you on crazy runs, don't they? Build up the endurance, hit the mountains.
Well, it's okay if you want to go for the jog yourself or go to the gym yourself. When someone dragging
when
off the bed to do it,
exactly. Yeah. Used to hate them cold mornings at 6 a.m. in Scotland.
Oh, that's what it was. The boot camp, Scotland.
No. The boot camp's in Colchester, isn't it?
Colchester.
Famous Colchester prison down south, somewhere down. I think it's even further south than London. I'm not sure, but the Crays actually went there famously.
Okay.
Spent some time there because they wouldn't serve in World War II.
Okay.
So they got
So everyone in this jail or this boot camp, is it all people who came from the army or the people who went AWOL or got into trouble?
All different crimes.
Yeah.
Someone was in there for setting his block on fire. Got 7 years. Just flipped one night and sort of he's crazy. Someone was in there for glassing an officer.
Yeah.
Just everyone had a crazy story. Some people were serving a long time, some short. You're just passing through. People who shouldn't be in there like me. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's not. So how did you find it? There was no trouble for you, though. You just get
for the most part. The prison was okay. There was two parts of it. You've got the part where you serve when you get. You know, if you're when you get out of prison, if you're going back to the army,
yeah,
they put you in A wing. But if you're getting out and you're getting discharged, they put you in B wing. So I started off in A wing because when I went in, they were going to try and get me back. But as time went on through my sentence, I think I was there for like 2 months. It was only short. But as time went on, they decided they were going to get rid of me, so they moved me over to the other side. And when they moved me to the other side, it was a lot better because they chill out on you in it because they know you're getting out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, but yeah, it was one or two instances of racism from the Scottish lads. They're a lot worse for it than the English could ever be. Trust me. In my own experience, anyway.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, this jail was in Colchester, but anyone who's been sent to jail from the military, most of them get sent there. So you're seeing Scottish people, you're seeing Irish people, and you're seeing Welsh people, and you think English people are racist, and you see them with a 3, and you're like, wow, they haven't got a London, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They haven't got a Liverpool, they haven't got a Manchester, so they haven't got. It's the whole different story.
Oh yeah. So how long was you away for there in the boot camp?
They sentenced me to 90 days, which was a day and a half for every day I went AWOL. So I think I was AWOL for 2 months.
Okay.
And then I got my lawyer to appeal it for me, and he got it reduced from 1.5 days to 1 day. So I got reduced from 90 to 60. So I served 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So how strict is it in there? Is like, did they make you go to bed early Yeah.
They've got a schedule for it, and if you don't follow it, they just punish you.
Okay.
So
okay.
Isolate you, not physically. Don't go beating you up, but they separate you from your boys and all that you've got close to, whatever. stick you in the room somewhere. Don't give you the money for your shop or whatever. Won't let you get your haircut. Just silly things. So everyone's everyone's doing what they're told because it's just not worth the hassle.
Yeah.
To try and go against the rules in there. It's just not because you're in the system.
So once you got let out now, and was that it with the army? They left you alone after that, or there's nothing after that? Is it?
They told me for 5 years after a leave, or maybe 10-year period, I'd be eligible for a call up if there was a war. And bear in mind, while I've left, and there's 2 wars raging on.
Wow.
Iraq and Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And the British Army is involved in both. You know what I mean? Heavily engaged.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there thinking, he's going to call me up and send me to the front line in Afghanistan, but I'm out there. I've been off for ages. I'm getting back into civilian life, you know what I mean? And thinking, these can't be contemplating me calling me in, but, it didn't happen anyway.
Yeah. Well.
Imagine, though.
I know, but you know what I mean? Like, what would you say to somebody, like a younger person, whether, 16 upwards, like, or even younger, and, like, they might be thinking about joining the army, you know what I mean? What advice would you give them to be...
In general, I'd
be careful.
I'd argue against it.
Yeah.
So, just sue anything else because,
it's all, it's war in the end.
I know some people have got this thing about them where they just want to fight for the country.
Yeah, patriotic.
The so-called patriotic. The further you go back, the more patriotic they were. Like, if you go back to, 60s or 70s, if you didn't join the army, you was against your country. Whereas now, you can get away with saying, no, I'm not fighting for these fools, you know what I mean? Which is good. It's good that you can rip them and say they want to be part of it.
Yeah. No, of course, at the end of the day, it's, you could come back in the box, anything can happen to you.
I mean, he did.
But that's it, because it's not just all about, like, well, get a good career, get good privileges. It's not as simple as that, is it? But also, another reason why we had you on, last time we were speaking about the importance of African history, because I understand that you went to Ghana about 3 years ago or something.
Yeah.
Now, it was your first time in Africa.
Yeah.
I remember the experience you tell me about. Now, before you went to Ghana, was that your first experience in Africa?
Yeah, first and last, sadly. So far.
Well, at least you got to go there. So before you went there, what did you think of Africa? Like, what was your knowledge of it before you went to Ghana?
The usual misconceptions in it.
Yeah.
Fed through the Western media.
Yeah.
Mass poverty, disease, just all the bad side. None of the good.
All negative.
All negative, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so now you get there now, and I remember you messaging me out there. You're having good discussions and that. So
yeah, that's right.
What was it like in Ghana when you got there? Anything different than what you thought?
Totally different.
Yeah. Tell us a bit about it.
Well, for starters, I got to see people driving around looking nice. Middle class.
Oh yeah.
Because I was to be fair though, I was in Accra for most of the time I was there. Got to pick up my cousin Winston because he took me. He called me up out of the blue and said, "You want to come?" That's another story, but he's amazing. He got me the ticket. So we went over there, and like I said, I was expecting just to see what I'd seen on the TV, but just people there. They're actually just Beamers, Mercedes, nice houses, and it just depends on what part of town you're in. It's like everywhere. Everywhere's got the nice bits and everywhere's got the bad bits. But for some reason, when the Western media focus on Africa, they only ever show the bad, and that was playing on my mind throughout the holiday. And when I come back, I was really interested in what's going on. It's like, why can't you show the fact that we're building up?
Yeah,
the fact that we're moving on and more people are educated. There's more jobs coming. There's things to be optimistic about. I think that too many people want to overlook.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's interesting because, people do think all Africans are poor. It's like, I was out Zanzibar and I've seen some people out there, the Africans who own many properties. And also when they travel to other countries and the money's worth more and then they go back and spend in their own country, So this is, like you say, it's misconceptions of African history. So anyway, I seen you playing the drums also. You sent me a video of you playing the drums, which is good. Yeah. So where did you? Because I remember you.
I was in the market.
You were in the market.
I was in the market. Yeah. We were walking around with my cousin, and over there, a lot of them are artists, and they carve the most amazing things you've ever seen out of wood. They've got anything you wanted, you find it down there. So we're down there, all dead cheap.
Yeah,
it's amazing. I mean, you pay them more, didn't you? You give them more money than what they're asking for. You've got to, because they're worth well more. So we're in there shopping, just walking around. And while we was in there, there's a guy's playing, but there's a shop selling instruments. And this guy's outside playing it was bongos, isn't it? He's playing his bongos, and he says to me, it just felt so soulful. You know, like it was almost forcing me to dance, and I was like, he said, "Do you want to have a go?" So I've gone, okay, then I'm sitting down. Next thing you know, he's teaching me how to do it. There's a little video of us floating around out there in the internet world. It was just me and this Ghanaian guy, but just like boom, 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 boom. And it was just so good, you know. It was just, you know, the feeling. It was, I don't know. Can't explain. It was amazing.
No, it is good. It is good, you know. And it's just like a spiritual feeling as well, you know.
The connection was different.
Yeah.
And it happens almost instantly. It was like, I don't even know these people, but we're just bonding, like.
Yeah. All meant to be.
Surreal, mate, honestly.
And that was good anyway you got to Africa, though, because, you know, we hear, like, there's too many things we hear about Africa, what puts people off going. Some people, they'll travel other places, but they won't go to Africa. When we say Africa, you know, what we call sub-Saharan Africa, because North Africa it's a lot changed over the years, isn't it? Arabs, you know, from the Greeks, the Romans, Turks, and go on forever, the Persians. So, we have discussions about African history regular and that, you know. Sometimes when you used to come down, be watching our documentaries.
This is why I went, because, you know, this is what got me interested in it after speaking to you and seeing the work that you'd done.
Yeah.
You know, your contributions, it's part of the reason why I went over, so obviously I've got to give thanks for that always.
Yeah, of course. I'm about, you know what?
We all at the beginning of the journey.
Yeah, well, you know what? We all have to influence, we all get our influence from somewhere, and we all need to put the word out and, you know, go to Africa. You know, some people, there's people there to take the chance, and you might even just become very successful out there, you know, yourself. You got advantages being born in this country when you go to Africa also. You know, people, like some people say, oh, they'll treat you better because you're not born there. And sometimes they do.
Yeah, sometimes.
In some cases.
Yeah.
You know, and then you can go to African villages. Like when I went to go and see the Maasai tribes, you know, the spirituality still exists. Because sometimes people...
Same in Ghana, the ancient religions that their camp people brought in with them.
Yeah.
They still practice. There's some kind of mix going on with Christianity, because most of the Ghanaians are Christians now, and you've got some Muslims, but they've held on to those ancient traditions, you know.
Well, it's...
ancient religions that the camp people brought in the 5th, 6th century. They're still there.
They're still there.
Especially in Ashanti. Ashanti's still independent, more or less. It's a state in a state.
Because even like in Gambia, now it's predominantly Muslim Gambia.
Yeah.
And I mean, but it's not in your face though, where, you know, it's people are just free. No one's has to tell you 100 times that they're Muslim or anything. Yeah. I found Gambia very, very easy going. And that's actually probably one of the places, if you've never been to sub-Saharan Africa, it's a good place to start with. Most definitely Gambia.
Yeah, definitely.
And people tell me about Ghana as well, you know. And how'd you find the food?
Oh.
Top-notch food.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And, you know, ridiculous.
True African cooks.
True African. We was eating at the 5-star restaurants.
Yeah.
Going in with, let's call it a $5, and coming out with change with full stomachs. You know, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Also, you root yourself, Terence, in it, you know. I know you're Jamaican from your father's side, isn't it?
Well, my cousin's done the ancestry thing.
Yeah.
And apparently, on my dad's side, where obviously my granddad's from Jamaica, isn't he?
Yeah.
But his line comes through West Africa.
Yeah.
So we know, you know, his granddad's from around in that region, as opposed to when my mum's dad's from Nigeria. You know, 100%, because he came. What
tribe? The Nigerian side from your mum's side.
Yeah.
What tribe? Igbo.
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
Okay.
This is what we believe, or we've been led to believe.
Well, I'm an Ijo, and we're actually closely related.
We are, yeah.
Ijos and Igbos.
I was playing around with the idea that our grandparents might have come over around the same time.
Well, possibility. You know, and then also on my Trinidad side, you know what, the DNA traced back to Benin and Togo, and Nigeria also.
Oh, so you got a mix then when you...
Yeah. So Nigeria from both sides, you know.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It is, because with the transatlantic slave trade, you do not know how many different tribes you might belong to.
Yeah.
Because you got people from Congo, you got people from Nigeria,
all being
Ghana,
mixed in together,
Gambia.
Just thrown on the same ship and sent out.
Yeah.
No names or nothing, just...
So, you know, you could have a multiple different Africans in you. But I'll tell you what always comes up, here's an interesting one. you'd have on the DNA, you've got Bantu, and you have Eastern Bantu. I remember I was first looking at this years ago now. Didn't really understand it too much.
I'm not familiar with them. Where they from? What region?
Well, Bantu, how you deal with it is you have Niger Congo. So the Niger Congo, that's like spoken in West Africa. So Sierra Leone, like around them areas and that. Now Bantu comes later, the name Bantu and that. But it comes out of the Niger Congo. And they also had another language called the Mandi language. So these Mandis about 5,000 BC, but it could even be older. Then you come to Niger Congo, then you come to Bantu. So Bantu is a branch from Niger Congo.
Yeah.
Didn't just
like
appear out the blue.
Yeah.
And then when I was in Kenya, like one of the people tell me that they're Bantu. So everywhere I was going, I'm finding, wow, even in Madagascar, you just see Bantu.
You must have migrated all over the continent.
All over.
At some point. Maybe several migrated, maybe more.
And when you look at the migration like this, because if you're a seafarer, so say people who are on the east side of Africa or even the west, you usually can control trade a lot better because you are superior, because you can build boats and sailboats and do your trade and get round a lot more quicker, you know. So with the Bantu, there's a distortion with it, but we're working on it. You've got to keep working on it. You know, it's a really...
Slowly revealing itself.
It is slowly revealing itself.
But I didn't even know that there was seafarers from Mali. I was watching the episode with you, Chase, and what was
Ras Congo.
Ras Congo.
Yeah.
And it's like, these guys were a powerful trading nation.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
Europeans were setting up posts there and trading with them. It was just, gold and stuff for rifles. And it's like, wow, why haven't I heard about that? Why did they have to watch a small,
Because Mansa Musa, the richest man ever. So if this man was the richest man ever, and
I think this is the source of the wealth, isn't it?
Yeah. Now you have many different
of the Mali Empire.
It's the Malian Empire.
This man is the foundation of everything that was great in that period and everything that was built from there, subsequently moving around. And even Ghana itself at one point was part of a Mali Empire.
The Songhai,
at its biggest extent, it covered Ghana.
That's right,
Yeah, so it's like, wow.
Well, Gambia, such a small country, it's surrounded by Senegal. And that was part of the Malian Empire, and then later Songhai Empire. So, see, we deal with countries a lot. We think countries, and we look at the map of it,
which is the Western system. All them borders today, they were drawn by Western countries after World War II. I don't even know why our people recognise them. To be honest with you,
I know.
We need a convention or something, because they're still causing tribal war, still causing all kinds of madness. When you've got people from the same tribe, who historically were together, they've been splitting off by a European border.
This is
same in the Middle East. It's nuts, man.
It is.
Probably the same in Asia. I'm not to a lesser extent, but
in Asia, like you got like groups that are closely related, like the Orange Asli, that's in Malaysia. A lot of pictures I showed you, the indigenous black people. Then you've got the Eta in the Philippines. You got the Mani in Thailand, and in the Andaman Islands, you got the Jarawa people and that. Now these are all closely related. The more you go back. And then you can deal with like when there was the communism wars in Thailand, and then the Mani tribes have had to move out because their base where they lived was getting used like bases. And
you were around there, wasn't you?
Yeah,
I saw some of your videos.
Yeah. So that's going deep. So when you start going deeper into jungles, rainforest, and at one time, rainforests were bigger than what we see now. They've just been building motorways, building hotels, building bridges.
The Ashanti Empire was built in a forest. When they turned up, that was full of trees. They had to smash it all down to build a civilization. You know what I mean? Imagine how hard that must have been. It's crazy. Just loads of... I don't know how they done it, but there you go.
And then sometimes it might just be some abandoned area. Sometimes, like, if there's areas in Africa that you don't have to use every little drop of land. Some areas might be abandoned. So then... the grass starts growing, like looking like jungle, but most of Africa is taken care of. You look at the savannah, it's not no jungle. There's more jungle in Asia than there is in Africa.
Yeah, I believe there is,
That's one thing. But so where's the next place you go to in Africa? Where'd you like to go?
I would like to go to Nigeria.
Nigeria?
Yeah.
Love to go there.
With you, preferably.
Yeah. Well, we'll make that happen soon. We'll make that happen, definitely, because
it's on the list.
Well, you got to I want to do this properly, though. I want to go into the village, because I've got to go to the village where I'm from, Delta State. you go to the village. So these, we've got to get a plane there from Nigeria.
See, this is why I want to come with you, because you know how to do all this. You know how to plan it. You know how to organise it. You know what I mean? Meeting up with people and all that. You know how to deal with these, with these. Well, these people. I say these people.
Yeah.
The foreigners aren't they? But, make the
communication.
You've got that
research and that, and also as well, some places you can drive 7 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours. Yeah. Now you got to know how these roads are that you're driving on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So sometimes if it might be wise to get a little plane, little domestic plane. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But that's it though, man. I look forward to it when I go to Nigeria.
Yeah, same. There's still a lot to see, isn't he?
And actually, we talked about traveling
soon.
You need to travel to Papua New Guinea. We were talking about last time.
Yeah. What got me? Do you know what got me interested in that though? Is the evolution.
Yeah. Okay.
I was reading the book that I think it was Jared Diamond. He wrote a book called Blood, Steel, and Guns or something like that, and he was talking about Europe. And but when he's speaking about evolution, he studied most of evolution of birds, and he was in Papua New Guinea, and he said historically there's been a load of species there that haven't existed anywhere else. I'm watching something similar to that. It's a unique place, like for the evolution, the diversity of animals.
Well, I watched like a program, something similar to what you're saying, and it was showing like these birds as if like they were like kind of like dragons.
Yeah. Going back, there was huge ones.
Yeah, going more back.
You wouldn't believe it. We didn't have the bones. I wouldn't believe it.
Well,
the fossils.
Well, in Madagascar, they've got an extinct elephant bird, and the only reason why I come across this because I was researching the oldest people in Madagascar. Obviously, I knew it was Africans.
You've been there, haven't you? Sorry.
Yeah. And then it was showing you like when you just go on the internet and you research who were the first people to colonize Madagascar. You might see Indonesia or you might see Africans, but it's not clear who got there first. You've got all this carbon dating, you've got this, you've got that. You should know who got there first.
Unreliable.
So that's how I come across the elephant bird, because there's evidence that people about 10,000 years ago, 10,000 BC possibly, used to hunt this extinct elephant bird. It's about 10 foot, and they knew by the slits in its throat that human occupation was definitely there. So, and they said that the eggs that they laid, you could cook 50 omelets out of them. That's how I came across this elephant bird, just by studying who is the oldest people. I already knew it.
It almost sounds like a mythical creature, doesn't it?
Yeah, but 10 foot, and it was like just like an ostrich, but a huge one. Yeah. So sometimes you just got to dig deep.
Yeah, you end up in a rabbit hole, don't you? And just find out all kinds of stuff you just wasn't ready for.
It's like you got Cape Verde, the island of West Africa. Now, according to the Portuguese and peoples, that nobody was there when they got there. Now, that's just their
uninhabited?
Version. It was uninhabited, they say, Cape Verde.
Really?
That's what they say, but I don't believe it. Because that could be used as a current to get to the Americas also. Because, sometimes if you're going to sail out, you look for where the current takes you next, isn't it? Yeah. Stopping off places. But many places, Africa, it's like Zanzibar. How did people get to Zanzibar? You can see evidence 20,000 odd years ago, people being there. So people must have sailed.
Yeah.
People obviously sailed to Madagascar.
Yeah, we were building ships and sailing the world way before way before the time they say we were.
Because some things are so
Even
obvious.
Australia, I think people went to Australia like 60,000 years ago.
Yes, 60,000 years ago. And there used to be a land bridge. There was a land bridge in Papua New Guinea and Australia where you could walk, and then also Southeast Asia, that was more connected. Indonesia, Malaysia, that was all like connected before the floods came.
Yeah.
So now it just looks like a bunch of islands.
Yeah, somehow that's broken up, hasn't it? Indonesia's loads of
islands, thousands of islands. The Baden Strait, that used to be.
Yeah, the land
bridge.
To
just walk over there, land bridge.
Yeah.
And then some people believe there was a land bridge where Sri Lanka is, and India used to connect Australia and Africa. And this, even Ranok Rashidi actually spoke on this one. It's just,
he did actually. I remember when he gave the speech at the Caribbean Centre, he brought this up.
Yeah,
it's
so
interesting though.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. So there's different versions. Some people have you can go in history books. Science might not tell you something, but in some people's stories,
what Ranok was saying sounded most logical to me.
Yeah, a lot of people talk about a flood story, don't they? Many people have their versions. Flood stories. Many people. Yeah. So
like the Gilgamesh. For example.
So it makes you wonder sometimes, well, why do you all have these versions? And there has been sea levels have risen.
What do you think, though, about people saying that with there being so many versions of a flood story throughout these ancient civilizations, it must have happened? Like, would that be for you evidence that there was a historical flood because so many civilizations have, attested to it in some ancient writing, whether it be through stone?
According to, I'm going to quote a man called Emphadishi. Now, the reason why I quote his name, he's deep into the priesthood in ancient Kemet. He's deep into...
Is that Egypt?
Yeah. And he's really deep into... He's even into like all like meditation, Tai Chi, crystals. He's really deep, you know what I mean? So, because somebody was saying that, well, science doesn't talk about a flood in the Nile. Even though the Nile can overflow, I am talking about how people talk about a flood. So he was saying that there's a story in Kush about a flood. And obviously, you're dealing with Kush, you've got like the Indian Ocean there. Because we don't really know, actually. At one time, there was more land than water. We know that. It's sunk under water or broken up. But we don't hear that version. We just heard about the Ice Age. It melted, and that was it. Because you say 10,000, what is it? In the last 10,000 years, sea levels have rise, like, could it be a couple 100 meters?
Yeah. The theory goes the ice is melting and the sea's rising, isn't it?
So some people don't believe there was an ice age. Some people just believe there was a flood.
I agree with Rast. There was many ice ages.
Many ice ages there was.
Going through history, but people have different timelines. People, like you said before, some people believe in some people believe the Earth was created 7,000 years ago by a god. I believe the Big Bang occurred 13 billion years ago. I mean, can you get a bigger difference? Someone's wrong there. Either I'm categorically wrong or they
let me quote one thing just before we go, I like what Professor James Small said, because like I say, I'm always looking at different versions of stuff. And what he said is the ancient Kemetic and the ancient Africans, we believe that we were always here, but not in this physical. So we were in the spiritual before. Yeah. So we've always been here. We don't actually have a date because we've always been here. But we're now within this physical. And it's temporary, the physical. And I don't know how many times. And also when you have a child, that's another thing, is you wonder who this child is when they're born. Coming back from the ancestors hundreds of years ago that existed. So this is what I mean. So you have to look and compare different versions.
Yeah, definitely.
I listen to a lot of tribes as well. They keep their stories intact. That's what I find.
Yeah, they preserve the traditions big time.
Yeah.
As I said, in the Ashanti, they're still doing things there that they were doing 1,000 years ago.
Yeah, that's what I like to see. That's what I like to see, and then teach the youth, the generations, and then keep it all going, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't lose
pass it on.
That's it, don't.
Or do you small. If everyone does the bit, it'll all come together as a nice puzzle, jigsaw.
Yeah. Well, it's been excellent today, though. I've enjoyed that discussion today, Ted.
Me too. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming anyway. We supposed
Anytime. Been a pleasure.
You're supposed to be on season 1, but you couldn't make it.
It's almost like the forces are just trying to keep me from coming in. So I'm actually happy I made it in the end. Even that last traffic jam there, but yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can get back.
Thanks for Chase being so patient as well.
Yeah, thanks.
Shout out.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Well, anyway, thanks for coming anyway, Ted and Small.
Anytime.
And I'm James Diboe, your host on Discovering.